You're on mute, Kyle. Starting off right. You're still on mute, douchebag.
Welcome back to the Back in Time podcast. I'm not your host, but I'm here.
Pat, joined by JD, and as always, Kyle has technical issues and can't figure out how to unmute, but we're live. We are alive, and Kyle, welcome to the podcast. You are the guest for the night. Paranormal Pat and I we're the hosts. How are you, Kyle?
Yeah, doing good, man. Doing good. My countdown video is still going for some odd reason. I'm having a ton of technical difficulties, but other than that, doing great.
Man.
Are you guys seeing the countdown video, or is that only on my end?
Nope. I saw it when it was up. Once it went away, we popped up. I haven't seen it since.
Wow.
You need to get a new computer already, Kyle.
Do you even computer?
Help, computer.
Well, in any event, I'll just put my headphones down so I'm not hearing it. But welcome into episode 256. I'm your host, Kyle Autry, joined as always by my co-host, JD, and the former 2019 guest of the year, Paranormal Pat from the Paranormal Pativity Podcast. Pat, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Always good to be back.
Can I get a little Ric Flair one time?
Woo!
Okay, there we go.
So beautiful, so beautiful.
Coming in hot. How do you feel about him doing one final match, by the way? We haven't talked
heard about that recently. I didn't even hear who he's wrestling. I just heard he was supposed to be doing a match.
Yeah. I mean, if it's not Jay Lethal, it should be.
Just to pass that torch.
It should just be them just having a woo-off in the middle of the ring. They shouldn't even be wrestling, but I don't know.
How old is he? How old is Ric Flair?
Too old.
He's got to be
too old to be wrestling.
He's in his 70s. He's in his 70s.
He's very old. He's had massive, massive health issues in the last 4 years. So
let's see. He is 73.
Yeah. 73.
Shit, I'm in my 30s and I couldn't do what he's doing in his 70s. So good on him.
Yep.
The nature boy. Well,
that's insane.
Mean Gene won't be there, but I'm sure Tony Schiavone will. So we're going to get one heck of a promo, if nothing else. So I'll probably watch it, to be honest.
It's just, I mean, I'll probably check it out, but it's just, it kind of takes away from the whole thing he did with Shawn Michaels.
Right.
That whole ending match and all the emotions there. And it's like, yeah, well, kiss my ass. I'm going to go do another match.
Well, so
20 years later.
5 years in TNA after that, too.
Did he wrestle?
Yeah, oh yeah, he wrestled. I watched him wrestle on pay-per-view. He wrestled Hogan, he wrestled Sting, and he wrestled a bunch of people in TNA.
They all have alimony and rent payments due. Like, cut him a break, Kyle.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Lord knows he does. Well, shoot, Pat, this was your idea, man. You were coming home from work. I think you left me a voicemail. Yeah. And you were like, dude, I got to tell you this idea before I forget. Tell our audience a little bit about your idea and the rules to the game.
Yeah, perfect. So I had this idea. I was like, okay, there's songs that automatically you hear the song and boom, you think of a movie, you think of a movie scene. And I was like, man, that'd be kind of cool. I don't think we've ever really heard a list of like a top 5 list of these songs. Like, you hear the song, it automatically takes you to a certain movie. So, and when I say this, I'm not talking about, like, obviously there's theme music, like, like if you hear James Bond, dun-dun-dun, obviously James Bond, nothing like that. Or, what was it? Beverly Hills Cop, as soon as you hear, dun-dun-dun, you already know that's Beverly Hills Cop. But there's certain songs which you're going to hear in our list here, and that's basically the rules, is to be it's an actual song. It doesn't, I mean, of course, it probably was in the movie, but not like the theme to the movie or made for the movie.
Okay.
Right.
I'm glad. I had many questions, and I'm glad, Pat, that you just clarified all the rules. You are the rule master of tonight. So if there's any infractions, you get to just to hammer down the iron salami.
Yep. Take it out on Kyle. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got a list of how we'll go in order, and then we'll do our typical 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 list. But before I do, I'll kind of get our plugs out of the way. I'll let Pat plug away on his podcast, and then we'll kind of jump into things. So thank you guys for hitting the download button on today's podcast and for checking us out here. If it's your first time to the show, throw us a subscribe on YouTube. We appreciate any support that you give us. If you're listening on traditional podcast platforms, we appreciate that as well. Hit that download button, drop us a 5-star review. Any feedback is always appreciated. Any ideas you have, you can drop those to us on any of the platforms at Back in Time Podcast, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, any of those platforms, Facebook. We are open to any and all suggestions. So if you've got bad ones, you can leave those at Unjust Justin. Pat, what do you got, man? Well, I know you're always working on stuff. You're actually going to record one with your wife when we're done. So tell the audience where they can listen to you, man.
So you have the Paranormal Pativity Podcast at Paranormal Pat 64 on Twitter. I have the tree link there. You can find all the stuff. Paranormal Supernatural Podcast. My next one is the Let Me Show You Something podcast at Let Me Show You Something Pod. Once again, all the tree link is all there. You can find us anywhere you find Back in Time Podcast. Podcast I do with my wife where we show each other movies that we can't believe the other one hasn't seen. We just watched a movie she hasn't seen, which was The Faculty.
Love it.
Yeah,
in our archives.
Yep.
So I had just shown her another one from Josh Hartnett she had never seen, which was 30 Days a Night.
Love
it. Yeah, she had never seen that, so we did that one, and I was like, "You have a movie?" She's like, "Actually, I didn't think about it." I'm like, "Well, let's keep it in the Josh Hartnett realm, and we're going to do The Faculty." So we'll be recording that actually when we're done here. And then finally, the It Be Like That podcast, which I do with Brian from the Terrible Terror podcast at IBLT Podcast on Twitter. Same thing, tree leads, all that stuff. General topic podcast.
Yep. Big shout out to Brian, Terrible Terror Podcast. We've guested on there several times. He's awesome, and we need to get him back on soon as well.
Yep.
And yeah, it's been too long since we've had him on too. But and then obviously me and Pat had a podcast together for a long time called Chafing the Dream. That one's been on a bit of a hiatus. We're also kind of spitballing back and forth on some ideas. We may bring it back. We may repackage it. We don't know yet, but there are some ideas in the works.
Yep.
It is being talked about. So we'll keep you guys posted once we figure something out there.
Words are being texted back and forth.
Yes.
It might not mean nothing yet, but it's happening.
Yeah.
Woo,
A phone call was also made to Johnny, and a message was left, and I am awaiting a call back. So we will go from there. Now, JD, I feel like I'm leaving you out, man. You also have a side piece.
I do. So it's obviously superior to Kyle's side piece. No offense, Pat, but we record weekly. We actually have episodes. Side Quest Podcast. You could find us on mostly Instagram, some facial book, all things talking about nerd culture and video games, movies, board games. I don't know. We talk about whatever the hell we want. Side Quest.
Board games. No wonder I don't listen.
I don't blame you. I don't listen either.
That's
Sounds
true.
like Brian lately. He's been trying to get. He wants to get back into D&D. I'm like, you're talking to the wrong person. I tried playing D&D with him and my friends a while ago, first time ever. I halfway through it, I was like, bro, I'm out. I was on the sofa with all the wives drinking with the girls hanging off me. I was more happy.
That sounds like a win.
That's awesome. Pat's over there drinking Smirnoff Ice, and it truly is. This isn't for me, guys.
I'm over here. Don't worry about it.
Icing your knee. It's like, I got to sit the next few rounds out, guys. Anyways, I'm good.
Exactly.
Well, let's get to the episode here. So I've got a list made out here. I'm going to lead us off here tonight. JD, I'm going to have you bat in the old 2-hole. And, I don't like that. But Pat, I'm going to have you go 3 and close this out.
All right.
and we'll
All
go
right,
5,
sounds
4,
good.
3, 2, 1, and then we'll do some honorable mentions. I'm sure we all have some because this list was hard to narrow down. After I initially came up with a list which was hard to put together because initially I was like, man, it's hard to think of ones off the top of your head. And then once I had the list, I was like, well, shoot, now I have to narrow it down. And that was hard to do. So the way that I've put together my list is I'm doing them based off of which ones come to my mind first, not necessarily which songs I like the most, but which ones can I name off the top of my head first, if asked in a pinch. So my number 5 pick, I will start with the movie first, and I will get to the song second, I should say. Are you guys still there?
I'm still here. We lost Pat, though.
Pat got booted for a second. Here we go.
Oh,
There we go.
Welcome back
on the
Pat.
stream.
That was weird.
All right. So about to get to my first pick here. So I am starting in the year 1993. I am starting with a movie called The Sandlot, and it is a scene from the movie Sandlot where they are celebrating the 4th of July, and they are about to go through, and the kids are kind of gathering up some food, and some fireworks are playing, and a song starts to go, and it is by the great Ray Charles, and the song is called America the Beautiful. And every time I hear this song, I think about those kids on that baseball field, and I immediately go back to this movie. So even though I know that he's a legendary artist, I always tie it back to The Sandlot every time.
Well, that to me is part of the whole point of this list too. It doesn't doesn't matter if it was just how big the artist is or how small. It just makes you think of the movie. And God, I love The Sandlot. It's been too long since I watched The Sandlot. It was on not that long ago, and I watched what I could because I was leaving the house. But I have to sit down and watch that whole movie.
Yeah,
such a great movie.
And this is such a great scene too because cinematically it looks amazing. Just the shots and the fireworks are going off in the sky. The baseball is flying through the air. And then I believe it kind of ends like the ball's flying through the air, and then it kind of like fades to daytime, and it like lands, and they're like in the next day.
Because they all got stopped. They all stopped to look at the fireworks, and then when the ball dropped, it was the next day. Yeah.
Yep. So it's a really cool scene to begin with. But I mean, onto the song. I mean, we're talking about Ray Charles. I mean, one of the great artists of his generation. I believe this song is a Grammy Hall of Fame song. And I mean, what else can you say? I mean, you just go through and read the lyrics, you listen to the song. I mean, this dude could sing his freaking ass off. And
he was a hell of a bus driver in Spy Hard.
Yes. Yep. So that's my number 5 pick. Yeah, I mean, Pat obviously loves the pick. JD seemed to roll his eyes a little bit, but what are we thinking, JD?
Did we lose him?
He's a little frozen up on us.
And we lost him.
Okay, JD will be back in a minute. So what we'll do is we'll move on over to JD with the next pick. He's back. JD, number 5 pick, man.
This is the haunted episode because I don't know what happened to me and I just bounced out of there, but I'm back. So thank you for the one person that's probably watching live. But it's nighttime. It's maybe a little earlier where Paranormal Pat is, but it's never too late for a little afternoon delight.
Okay. Is that your next song?
It's my number 5 song, Sky Rockets in Flight. Boo! Anchorman, Afternoon Delight is my number 5. I can never hear this song enough.
And not bonk out.
There you go. You're
back. You pushed me out. I was here and I got pushed out.
Okay. Well, you're back. I don't know what happened there. Things are happening very strangely, and I don't think it's any coincidence that Paranormal Pat is on the air with us. But
I should have done a seance prior to getting on.
I got a great story about a seance one day for you, Pat.
Oh, I'm gonna have to get you on again.
Oh. But anyways, no, it's Afternoon Delight, which is by the Starland Vocal Band from 1976, and it's such a perfect song in Anchorman, and the way that they sing it and the way that they do it, like I'll never not just boo.
It seems like I do the same thing every time we get to that part.
Yeah, it's just you're waiting for it, and then you pause for way too long, and then Afternoon Delight. All right, that's my number 5 pick, folks.
Awesome.
Yeah, you got to think that those guys, I don't know if they're still around, but if they are, they've had to have made more money since that came out than they did when they initially released it.
That song also makes me think of a scene from South Park.
Yeah.
The one with Cartman was the dog, the bounty hunter, and Kyle's little brother Ike was hooking up with the kindergarten teacher.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Oh, man.
All right, Pat, I'm throwing it to you, man. Number 5.
Okay, so my number 5, like I said, I'm kind of like Kyle. I don't have the way this list is. It's not like perfect 5 through 1 or whatever. It's just kind of like the song makes me think of. I just put them in a certain order. So, but for my number 5, I got Respect, Aretha Franklin, Major Pain.
Yes.
Hell yeah, man.
Every time I hear that song now, all I can think is about the scene after, the drunk dad or stepdad shows up, and then they finally have respect for Major Pain, and they are all trying to train. They want to win that trophy, and they're Aretha Franklin. And Aretha Franklin's respect's probably been, I don't know how many songs or movies, but that for some reason I always just boom right away think of Major Pain.
Wow, that is such a good pick because I freaking love that movie. I love it. That was one of our first episodes too. I think we covered Major Pain in like episode 4, maybe.
I was gonna say episode because Jurassic Park,
Batman, and then Monster Squad, and then Major Pain. Yeah,
and then Major Pain. There it is.
Yeah,
awesome.
That's a great pick. But yeah, I think this is it's like a whole montage scene, isn't it?
Yeah, a whole montage of them training and doing and then they're finally kind of in there getting along and
Gosh dang. Yeah, fantastic scene. And could they have picked a better song? No. Could not have picked a better song for that moment. Those kids are all just like, they're respecting Major Pain, and they're definitely, for the first time, like working as a team.
Yep.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Great pick, man.
Thank you.
When did that song come out?
I didn't look up the years, but that's got to be 70s.
Did it? Okay.
Yeah, it was Aretha Franklin. I believe it was. I'll look it up right now. Let's see.
I was curious because I was thinking 70s too, because if that's the case, all 3 of us were in the 70s in our first picks.
Shapow. It has to be 70s.
And I will be breaking that with my next pick if that's the case.
Let's see.
I maybe won't be.
Oh.
Okay. 1967.
60s. Okay.
Bastards.
Okay. Well, here we go. Number 4 pick. I am with a film from the year 1993. And the film is in our archives. It's called Mrs. Doubtfire. And the scene takes place during a birthday party. And the song is called Jump Around from House of Pain from 1992. Every time I hear the song, I picture Robin Williams with his hat cocked sideways, just bouncing to this song. And then his wife comes home and he's like, oh shoot, I got caught having too much fun again.
Pack it up, pack it in, let me begin.
And
it's just a few dirty plates. It's not toxic waste.
I know.
That's a good one.
Yep. Yep. So I always picture this song with Mrs. Doubtfire because I watched this movie so many times as a kid, and this song is amazing too. I think the song came out in '92, and so they were nominated for a Grammy for best rap performance by a duo or group that year, and obviously they kind of blew up that year.
Yeah.
So
It was like the only song though they were really known for.
yeah. So in that group had Everlast, Danny Boy, DJ Lethal.
DJ Lethal
Yep.
went on to Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit.
Yep. So yeah, you may know him as the old Scribbity Scratch on all those Limp Bizkit albums.
Seen him live twice.
Oh boy.
Yeah. How good are they? They're awesome live though, I've heard.
Oh, dude, the second time I saw them, it was right after their third album dropped, the Chocolate Starfish album.
Yeah.
If you remember on the album, I think it was like a giant robot thing. Well, they had that on stage, and like they had DJ Lethal in one shoulder, the drummer in one shoulder, and then the rest of them it was fire going off and everything. And one thing I always remember about that concert was we were standing in line waiting, and there was a kid that walked by, and he looked just like Wes, like to the nine, like the paint, the thing around his neck and everything. And one part of the show, the lights are out, and you just hear Wes wailing on the bass. And the lights go up, and it was the kid.
Oh,
so
shit.
I guess they had seen him walking around the crowd. They brought him in the back to meet the band, and apparently he knew how to play bass. I mean, the kid was like 8. And this was when I was just out of high school. So, yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I know Limp Bizkit has its haters out there. I'm not one of them. I've always liked Limp Bizkit, and I really like a lot of their new stuff from the Dad Vibes record, including the single Dad Vibes. I don't know if you've heard it yet, but I thought it was pretty cool.
I've heard some of the songs off that album. I haven't heard the whole thing.
I thought it was cool that he like kind of reinvented himself a little bit. And when they what did they do this year? Was it Lollapalooza?
I think they did Lollapalooza, yeah.
Yeah, when they went out there and somebody else was performing like the other stage and people had no interest. Everybody was watching Limp Bizkit.
Yeah. He looks old though now, man. Fred Durst. I follow him on TikTok. Oh.
Yeah, Father Time, undefeated. What do you do?
Yeah, that's true.
So, all right, JD, number 4, man.
I kind of want to go about this like maybe a new way. So I'm going to read to you the lyrics of the song. When you recognize the song and then you recognize the movie, feel free to chime in. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Ow, she's a brick house. She's mighty, mighty, just letting it all hang out. She's a brick house.
Oh my gosh. I know the song. She's a brick house. But what is the song though?
She's a brick house. Brick House by the Commodores. And I think, to be fair, I think
everything though.
It was in one particular movie that
Undercover Brother.
Oh, come on, guys, come on, Pat. House of a Thousand Corpses.
Oh,
that scene where she just annihilates him with the blade to this song will always live rent free in my mind and frighten the hell out of me. I can never hear that song again.
That's a good one. I
Yeah,
I went straight for comedy in my head.
I wish there was a camera right now somewhere when Phantom Dark Dave is listening to this episode and he's just going like this. You guys, he knew it right away. As soon as JD started, he was like, "It's Rob Zombie, House of a Thousand Corpses."
And to be fair, I think the version in the movie is Rob Zombie.
Yeah.
Singing. To be fair, so it's kind of, that's why it's at number 4 and not higher, because it's not the original. But I think that it remains, you can't, any normal person, paranormal people maybe, can listen to that song all the time and not give 2 shits about innocent cheerleaders being massacred. But, that's just you, Pat.
They probably deserved it. They should have said yes when I asked them out.
Hey-o. Woo. That's my number 4 pick, Kyle. What's yours?
Oh shoot. Well, I got no complaints there. Well, Pat, yeah.
Pat's next. My bad.
It's all good. Well, for mine, so I'm gonna bring it back to the Sandlot. So this every time I hear this song, I automatically think of the Sandlot, and also my dad, because my dad loved this song. But Green Onions by Booker T, not the Booker T, but Booker T and the MGs.
Hell yeah!
So every time I hear that song, I can think of all when they're sitting there at the Sandlot, and here comes the professional little league team come rolling up to talk shit. Every single time I hear that song, that's the first scene that pops in my head is Sandlot, and that's that particular scene right there.
I know exactly what you're talking about, but for some reason I can't hear it.
Oh, come on.
Yeah,
give me a little. It's like doon like
Let's see. You don't get in trouble if I play it.
Oh, and we lost him. They just kicked him off. They're like, "No, you're not playing a damn second of a song, Pat."
He'll be back. He'll be back in a second. Here he comes. YouTube was like, "No, you're not."
There you go. You're muted, Kyle.
Okay. I was trying to mute you before we get kicked off of YouTube.
2 seconds.
You know how they are with my channel for whatever reason.
You're a timeout. Your channel? When the hell did this become your channel?
I thought it said R.
No, you most certainly.
I heard my channel. Fuck off, JD is what I heard.
Anyway, check me out on YouTube and TikTok.
Check me out,
please.
Yo, when are you going to get in some of those TikToks, JD?
When this dumbass's self comes to the lake house next month, we'll do some TikToks.
Yeah, I've been TikToking like crazy on there, dude.
Yeah, I'm not even on the TikTok personally. I don't get it, but I'm just getting old, so whatever.
Yeah, well.
But yes,
so what is the actual name of the song again? Let me write that down.
Green Onions.
Which are delicious.
Yep. Especially on my Mexican pizza.
And it's by who?
Yes.
Booker T and the MGs.
Okay.
Come on.
Please tell me you looked up when you were saying Booker T, because I was going like this.
Oh yeah, That's
what
I was saying. Not the Booker T, but but yeah, definitely I saw you do that.
Okay. I was on mute just going 5 times.
Oh, back there trying to do the spin a Rooney.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. All right. So we've gotten through 2 picks so far. Now it's time to get to the 3rd pick here. This one, we almost did this movie a few months back, JD, and I think we put it up to a poll topic. It didn't win, but I think eventually we'll get to it. It's one of my favorite movies, but it's a like comedy drama film from Cameron Crowe. It's called Almost Famous. And the scene is the band has like gotten into a verbal altercation. They get onto the bus and they start driving, and they have this moment where a song starts playing, and like at the same time they all start singing it, and then they start like looking around and they just start laughing and singing it together. And it's Elton John's Tiny Dancer. And every time I hear that, I kind of think of this movie and them just looking back and like, hold me closer, tiny dancer. Yeah. Of course, I sing it as hold me closer, Tony Danza, because that's how I know the lyrics. But, to each their own.
Angelo.
Did you hear they're supposed to be doing bringing that series back, or that show back?
Oh my goodness!
Really?
I heard something about them talking about bringing back Who's the Boss.
Well,
about time, because who's been the boss? I mean, somebody's the boss.
Someone's got to be the boss.
Somebody's got to be the boss. I mean, we've obviously had that barbecue sauce for a while that's been the boss, but they need the show.
There you go.
Sweet baby Ray's.
The sauce is the boss. Now, What do you guys think? Number 3. I mean, I love this freaking movie, and the song is amazing.
That's a good song.
Yeah.
Do you guys also think of the song at all
Never
with
seen
that
the movie,
movie?
though.
Because I always think of it. You've never seen it? Holy
Mm-mm.
shit! Almost Famous is amazing, dude.
I
That's one of
think
the
Crystal's
great
seen it. And I
movies.
can tell her she can make it one of the movies.
You have to make that one of the movies. Tell her, bring that up to her tonight. Be like, should we
I
watch
will do.
Almost Famous? I almost guarantee you she'll be like, you haven't seen that? Holy shit! You would love that movie, dude. It's
It's a
fantastic.
good movie. It's a good movie. I do not think of the song, or I don't think of the movie when I hear the song. I just only think of Tony Danza, unfortunately,
Yeah.
and the garbage picking, field goal kicking Philadelphia phenomenon.
Yeah, I kind of fell in love with the movie like right when I was getting into music. So I've watched it probably more than most people have. So it's more tied to me than probably most people, I would say.
You did say pretentious, so there you go.
Oh, there we go. I was looking for a pretentious pick and I found it.
There you go.
Speaking of pretentious, JD, over to you at number 3. What do you got?
A not pretentious pick. I'm saving my pretentious pick for the top 2 spots, but kiss from a rose. And to be fair, it's Kiss from a Rose by Seal. I thought initially was like this song was created for the movie. It wasn't.
Yeah. Oh.
No.
I definitely thought that, and so I was like apprehensive about putting it on my list. And then I did some research and found out like he wrote the song like back in the 80s and then like re-recorded it in the 90s and pushed it out and finally like hit stride with this song in 95 with Batman Forever. But my God, I mean, it's like it might as well be the theme song for the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the first things people think of when you hear that song is definitely that movie. That's a good one.
Yeah, and I mean,
dude, this song, number 1, the song is awesome.
Yep,
and
it is, and the
it
music
goes
video
perfectly. Yeah,
actually makes me want to watch the music video after we get off of this.
yeah,
that's a good one.
It's a great pick. I don't know that I immediately tie it to Batman, just because I like Seal enough, but
no, shut up. Stop talking. Just stop, Kyle. You're done.
Okay.
All
right.
That's gotta go straight to Batman.
I listen to Seal when I'm taking a poop on the toilet, and I'm just all like, oh yeah, you're full of shit. I'm calling shenanigans on you right now. We're ending your talk track, and we're moving to the next pick.
Okay, well, good enough. Number 3, Pat.
Kyle's like, that's on my Get Some Nookie soundtrack. It's before the night before Batman. All right, so number
when
3.
you're sealing the deal, you put on some Seal.
I did it all for the Nookie.
All right.
My number 3 goes back to a movie that came out in the 90s, but it was about the 80s. I believe I was on the podcast with you, top 5 Adam Sandler movies, but Holiday by Madonna, The Wedding Singer.
Yes.
Holiday. Every time I hear this song, this is one of my dad's favorite Madonna songs ever. But every time this song comes on, all I can think about is, I live in my sister's basement. Like, who, when that song comes on, every once in a while just doesn't add that lyric in there anyways.
That's a good.
Oh my God.
You got George in there. Holiday. He's just all into it, and he's just all depressed.
Holy crap.
Oh,
that's a good one. That's a hell of a winner. That's going to be tough to top. I feel like we're done with it, with the episode with that. I think that was the best choice. I don't know. That's good.
I'm not ready to give him top pick. I think I got a good one at number 1, but that's going to be tough. Man, that's a really good one.
Yeah, it's classic, man.
Yeah. I better get back in there. They're starting to turn on George.
Well, I got a microphone, sir, and you don't. So you will listen to every word I have to say.
Oh man, so good stuff. All right. Well, we're getting down to it. The final two picks here. My number 2 is going to be from a film called Say Anything, from a character named Lloyd Dobler, who is standing on the lawn. He's holding a boombox high over his head, and he is playing a song from a fantastic artist named Peter Gabriel, and a little In Your Eyes. Love, I get so lost sometimes. Love this song. And I can't think of, man, yeah. What'd I say?
No, I was agreeing. I was just thinking.
Oh, I was like, did I not say Peter Gabriel?
He's good. No, I'm just saying. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't think of any other movie this is the song. It's completely tied to this movie and him just holding up the boombox, standing in that yard forever.
Epic.
Yeah.
It's iconic.
It has to be on this.
Very iconic.
I mean, I was going to pick an 80s movie. There's several on the list. I wasn't going to do just a top 5 of like 80s movies because there's Breakfast Club. It could have just been all John Hughes movies. So this is the one I picked, and I think this is the best of the bunch. So here it is. So I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, I think the more you really start to look into songs and pick from movies, we can definitely do another list. Even though you said it was hard at first, the more you kind of start to really get into it, because like you're picking stuff, I'm like, oh yeah, that's I didn't think about that one.
Yeah.
So
what's kind of cool too, like I was going through, I pulled up his music video, which I think has like 15 million views or something. It's like an insane amount of views on it on YouTube. And I'm reading through the comments, and people are like, I listened to the song today and it immediately transported me back to 1984 when I was 16 at prom. Or this song got me through when my dad died when I was 16. Or like this got me through my divorce. Like, it's just like all these like heartfelt messages. It's like just such a cool song. And I was reading that the song is actually about his relationship with God. So the lyrics of like In Your Eyes, like that's what it is. Like,
yeah,
he sees him. So
interesting.
I didn't know that. So interesting stuff. Anyway, that's my number 2 pick. JD, what do you got?
So my number 2 pick, I think at first, if I name, do you want to hear the movie first or the song and songwriter first?
Movie.
The Strangers.
Okay.
And if you do, I'm assuming you don't recall, Kyle, or maybe Pat, maybe you do, Dave, maybe you're kind of like clapping. Hopefully you're clapping for me. But The Sprout and the Bean by Joanna Newsom, when Liv Tyler drops the needle on the record player and plays that song, and do, and it's just this very melancholy, smooth song, like standing as a preamble to like all this shit that they're about to go through in this movie. And like, it's such a beautiful song, but then it's like, oh, your asses are about to get slaughtered. I can't hear that song without being just like endlessly like terrified and like curious by it. And it's just a little pretentious, but it's a big movie. And I think Bertino did an excellent job of selecting the songs that went into this movie with, I don't know, I love it. I don't know. If you haven't listened to it in a while, give it a listen and try to not be transformed back into this little house in Texas.
As soon as you said that, I knew what scene you were talking about, but I couldn't, the song was not playing in my head, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's horrifyingly beautiful. I don't know how else to describe it. It's one of, I never had heard the song before the movie. The movie was 2008. The song is 2004, 2002, somewhere in there. It introduced me to a wonderful artist, and I was just kind of like blown away by it. So that's my number 2 pick. So call me whatever you want, Kyle, because you obviously are stupid and I hate you, but I love you.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's a great pick because I know how much you love The Strangers.
Yes,
that's obviously one of your favorite movies of all time. So yeah,
easily up there. Great. Maybe I'll watch it again tonight. Great movie.
What do you think of the second one?
I didn't even bother.
No, I like the second one. Definitely not like the first one. But like it almost felt like the direction they went in it. What was the point of making it in a sense? But it was still enjoyable.
Yeah, Kyle, you saw the second one, right?
I did. I didn't hate the second one, but it's so hard to live up to that first movie. I mean, even with Christina Hendricks in it, who I love, it just couldn't live up to that first one. Oops, said that out loud. Jugs. Huge, massive jugs. Fun bags. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So that's my number 2 pick. So I'm very curious to how we're going to run down the next one in your corner, Pat.
All right. Well, this one was another '90s movie, and every time I hear this song, instantly taken back to this movie. Why do you build me up, buttercup, baby, just to let me down? Every time I hear this song, Buttercup by the Foundation, something about Mary pops in my head. That every single time I hear this song, and it will forever. Anytime I hear this song, will take me back to something about Mary.
Yeah,
that's very fair.
It was. They even tried to use it recently. I think in a Geico commercial or something. I go, nope, something about Mary. That's what that song belongs. Especially that end scene, they're all like going through pretty much every scene in the movie with all the different people that were in it, and they're all singing it. And it's just perfect.
Gosh,
that great.
Now that you're saying that, I almost feel like our next episode should be top 5 commercial songs. Because there's also songs that like have been in commercials that you just can't reuse. Like, what was that one that was in Burger King forever? That was oh my gosh, it was like the Whopper song. Oh my gosh, it was forever.
I have to look it up.
I'll find it later.
Okay, share it out on social, Kyle.
Yeah, I'll find it.
If you're listening, audience, and Kyle's stupidity has rung a bell in your head. I'm sorry. I'm being really mean to you tonight. I have no reason to be. I am so sorry. I'm not trying to be. So, Kyle, you're lovely. You look great. I like this shower curtain you got in the background behind you or whatever's going on.
Well, that's my wife's decorating, but I'll let her know you said it was a shower curtain.
Please don't. Please don't.
All right. Okay.
All right, come on. Let's get the roundup.
Okay, let's finish it up here. So I'll do the I'll do my rundown of my top 4. We'll get to the number 1 pick. So I started with Ray Charles, America the Beautiful is my number 5. Number 4 was, and that was from The Sandlot. Number 4 was House of Pain's Jump Around from Mrs. Doubtfire. Number 3 was Elton John's Tiny Dancer from Almost Famous. Peter Gabriel's Your Eyes from Say Anything. And my number 1 pick. This one was a bit of a remix. But it comes from a movie from 2003, and it's a wedding song. I'm just going to give you guys a little lyric here, and I think you'll enjoy this, but it goes a little something like this. Turn around. Every now and then I get a little bit terrified. I see the fucking look in your eyes.
Did you say it? No,
Turn around, bright eyes. Every now and then I fall apart.
I need you now tonight. I fucking need you. Never.
Oh my gosh.
Nicely done. I like this.
So this is actually an original song from somebody named Bonnie Taylor. And the song is called Total Eclipse of the Heart.
I'm sorry, you say that like you've never heard the song outside of
Bonnie
this movie.
Taylor. I mean, I'll admit I was not the biggest Bonnie Taylor fan before Old School. So she wasn't really on my radar.
Oh, I definitely knew the song prior to Old School.
Yeah. I mean, I knew it, but she wasn't
okay.
I wasn't collecting her albums.
Yeah, but you made it sound like you were first interested, and that's fine.
I would hear it at weddings, and then when I heard
track.
Yeah, sure. As I was driving my truck. Yeah, so of course. And then when this came out in 03, and the band called the Dan Band remixes it for Old School. It's just freaking amazing. And I even love the part where like they cut. I think it goes to what's his name? His character's outside, and they go back inside, and he's like, "Ole, ole, ole."
And Vince Vaughn's lady, Vanessa, you're the lady, Vanessa.
So that is my number one pick.
Love the movie.
I will never hear this song and not think of Old School ever, and I will never hear it and not add in that extra lyric. So there it is. That's my number one pick. So I say that, JD, top that. So here's your breakdown. Number one pick, you started with a little Afternoon Delight. Boo! With the Starland vocal band from 1976. Then we went to Brick House, which was the Rob Zombie version from House of a Thousand Corpses. Seal's Kiss from a Rose from Batman Forever. The Sprout and the Bear from the movie The Strangers. Oh, sorry. I can't read my own handwriting. The Sprout and the Bean from The Strangers as your number two pick. Number one pick, man. What was your favorite song that reminds you of a movie?
This is a movie that I saw at a young age, and it's a movie that I saw at a young age, a song that I already knew. So it's like the perfect mixture of recognizing the song, but they used it to like ultimate power in the scene. It's one of my favorite movies ever, and maybe it's one of my favorite movies ever because of the scene with the song. I don't know. I have to like dissect myself to get down to it. But the movie is A Bronx Tale, and it's Come Together by the Beatles. And when the bikers come into the bar, I don't know if you're how familiar you guys remember this movie, but the bikers come into the bar and they're in the Bronx, and Chaz Palminteri asks them to leave, and they don't. And then so he closes the door, he locks it, and then hits the button on the jukebox, and boom, 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 come together. And these Italian mafiosos just beat the shit out of this biker gang. I just will never, ever, there's nothing that'll ever happen with that song by the Beatles that'll make me think of anything other than just watching Coffee Cake Face just wail on people.
I mean, my initial thought is I haven't watched the movie enough to tie it to the movie, but it's an amazing song. I love the freaking Beatles. So
it is, and it's again, it's a mixture of an awesome song with an awesome movie and a great scene. Yep.
And for that, I mean, same reason, like with I just rewatched Stranger Things and the Who song. I tied to Stranger Things season 3 because I love it so much. Bob O'Reilly, because it's part of the trailer. So for that same reason, I love it for that reason. So
that starts the new season.
Oh my gosh, it's so freaking good, man.
I'm so behind on
that
show. So
freaking good.
Yeah. I mean, with all the other stuff that's out, like I just finished The Boys.
Yeah.
And so, Obi-Wan, I made sure I got that done. So
this is my favorite season of Stranger Things. I watched it twice. Back to
already?
Back. Damn.
Sheesh.
Well, you like Hellraiser, right?
Yeah.
And A Nightmare on Elm Street?
Yep.
This season's for you.
Well, let's go.
Let's go.
Oh, shit.
All right, cool. Well, it's a great pick because I know Bronx Tale's a great movie. Just, again, not up my alley. But, Pat, what did you think?
Oh, yeah, good pick. I've been so long since I've seen a Bronx Tale. I've never seen it when I was younger, and I don't think I might have to return to that one because I know it's a great movie. I just haven't seen it in years.
It's worth a watch, and it's worth maybe wifey hasn't seen it, so there you go, is another topic of conversation.
Got it down. Yep. Definitely.
All right. Here we go. All right. Well, Pat, I'm going to give your rundown real quick. We'll get to your number one pick. So we started with a little RESPECT from the Queen, Aretha from the movie Major Pain at number 5. Little Green Onions by Booker T. And I forget the end of it, but
MGS.
But the most important part is it wasn't the five-time champ, but yeah, the other Booker T. And then number 3 was Holiday. I can't even say it without laughing. That's how freaking funny this scene is. From Madonna from the movie Wedding Singer. Your second pick was Buttercup. The Foundations from There's Something About Mary. And then also amazing. What's your number one pick, man?
Okay, so I did 2 comedies prior to this. This one definitely was not a comedy.
Okay.
But this is one of my all-time favorite songs ever, and it always makes me think of this movie. Don't Let Me Be excuse me. Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood by the Animals, American Me.
Okay.
And so this scene is they end up killing one of their own, Pieface, and it's this whole scene. They got this. As soon as that music is, dun, 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 I was really off on that one, but it's just like baby, you understand me now. It's just the song goes perfect with this scene, and I got a friend Ray, and every time this song comes on, we'll call each other and we'll say the next line in the movie, like, "Hey, we all know Pieface wasn't weak." American Me is a great movie. Like, they have all these Italian gangster movies, stuff like that. And to me, like, if you've never seen American Me, it's really worth it to see it on the other side, with the Hispanics and everything. But yeah, this the Animals, even though they remade the song, it was I forget the original singer. The way they sing this song is just super powerful, and I think I kind of moved that. That's why I moved that one into my number one.
Okay, yeah, that's fantastic. I love the Animals. Yeah, this song is. I'm trying to. I haven't heard it in so long. I almost pulled it up on YouTube as we were talking, just so I could hear it. But
I have it on rotation on Spotify and on my on iTunes, and it gets played a lot.
Yeah, my dad was a big Animals fan, so that was one of the first songs he taught me on guitar was an Animals song. So,
awesome.
Yeah, cool. I love this.
That's awesome.
Well, dude, we have to have some freaking honorable mentions here because we left a lot of the big hitters off the list. I know because I talked with Pat about this before we got on the air earlier today, on purpose, because we didn't want to have like some super predictable choices on here. I think most notably, people are like, "How is Wayne's World not on this freaking list? Where the heck is Bohemian Rhapsody?" Because that's
funny because that's how I
should be
presented
number
it
one.
to you. Remember?
Yeah.
That's how I was like, well, like, give me an example. I said, Wayne's World, Bohemian Rhapsody. He goes, boom, I get exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So I think for anybody that might be upset, we were trying to come up with a list that would be fun but not predictable. So, I mean, if we were making a list of which ones we thought were most notable, that would be number one. Probably. I mean, what other one would be more notable than that movie? So that would be on there for me. Now, there's a couple other ones on my list that I had. I'm going to pull up real quick that were kind of on the outside. I had Aerosmith. I Don't Want to Miss a Thing from Armageddon on there.
Of course you did.
Right now, Brian is rolling his eyes and he doesn't know why. He hates that. He hates Aerosmith. He hates that song.
I don't hate Aerosmith. I like Aerosmith, but
he does.
The movie's kind of shit. But but anytime I hear the song, I immediately think of the movie because it was pretty much written for the movie, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, it also makes me think of the music video because they changed the scene where Liv Tyler's looking at Bruce Willis. They put Steven Tyler in the screen that she's looking at instead of Bruce Willis, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, I liked the movie a lot when I was a kid. I watched it a couple years ago, and I was like, "Oh man, okay, now I know why it got so much hate." it just kind of like flutters out at some point. And I'm like, what happened? Like it gets like wonky. I don't know. So that was one of my just on the outside looking in. Bohemian Rhapsody, as I mentioned, on the outside looking in. And then Don't You Forget About Me, Simple Minds, The Breakfast Club. I wanted to pick 180 song, so I had to narrow that down. And then You're the Best, Joe Esposito, The Karate Kid. So there we go. JD, what about you?
I've got a long list of what could have been. I'm going to narrow it down to maybe 3 or 4 of my honorable mentions.
I was going to say, yeah, save those other picks for part 2 when we do this again.
There we go. First, this was hard to not include, but Stuck in the Middle with You from Reservoir Dogs. I don't think anybody can ever hear that song without thinking about what happens in that scene. It's a great song, and then you lend your ear, and then you get it chopped off. So that was one. Maybe this is an outside pick, but Butterfly by Crazy Town from Orange County.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
I had liked that song before the movie came out, and I loved that movie. And then every time that song comes on, which is obviously probably more than it needs to in my household, I can't help but picture the cheerleader squad coming out and pushing past Shane Brumder, and then he's just like, ugh. So that's another one.
That album is underrated. That first Crazy Town album is great. I don't care what anybody tells you. And fun fact, the lead singer for Crazy Town is dating I'm gonna go blank on her name now, but the chick who was I'm gonna go blank on her. Crap. I don't want to say Pippi Longstocking, not her, the other one that was a kid. Damn it! Oh, go ahead, man. I just screwed that up. I just went blank on her name. I'm gonna look it up.
I can't.
Sorry.
Okay, look it up while I drop my line of, dude, I never went to college. Check me out. I'm kick ass.
I'm just look at Stussy. I mean, and he just boop. Fucking love that movie. The last one that
we got a runner, 5'7", Portly.
Ben Stiller. Somehow they got Ben Stiller to just chug in that line.
And a great cameo in there from the late great Harold Ramis.
Yes.
God, how have we not covered this movie yet? I love Orange County. It's one of my favorite movies.
Agreed.
And it's one of yours. I don't know how we haven't covered this movie.
In my opinion, it's a damn near perfect movie. It runs at like 86 minutes. The soundtrack is awesome. The story is so tight and concise. The comedy is ridiculous. Everything about it is just, you can't be beat.
It's the best Colin Hanks movie, with that, hands down.
I agree.
Yeah.
Agree 100%. The one last song movie that I want to throw down and mention is it's not by the Doors, but when Echo and the Bunnymen do People Are Strange and the Lost Boys, that'll always ring true for me.
Yep. I don't know how I didn't mention that. That should have been on my list.
Pippi Longstockings, by the way, the chick who played Pippi Longstockings.
My wife just texted me, "Take My Breath Away," Top Gun. That should have been on there as well.
Seriously, my list is like a shit ton.
Yep.
It's very difficult.
Away. Yep.
All right, so I got a. You were done, JD? I didn't want to cut you off there.
I mean, I could do a lot more, but I'm going to keep it at those ones, and then if we do a part 2, I'll save some of these winners, and you take my breath away right now.
Ooh.
I'd take it away with a fart.
Oh, babe. So every day, Buddy Holly, Stand By Me.
Oh, man.
Everyday thing. Every time I hear that song, it makes me think of Stand By Me. This one's a little off, but Rescue Me, was it Frontal Base, in the Army now? Remember when he's trying to talk to Pauly Shore about like trying to escape the camp, and what they're singing, "Rescue Me," the David Allen Gear. Yeah. Every time I hear that song, it makes me think of that scene from In the Army Now.
Yep.
And
That's
then
fair.
finally, I'm going back to a little Aretha Franklin to say a little prayer. My best friend's wedding.
That's so random.
That's good.
Remember they started singing the whole they start singing the song right at the brunch or whatever they're doing. And every time I hear that song now, it makes me think of my best friend's wedding.
I'm gonna throw one in there at the last minute just because I don't know how none of us mentioned this already, but Somewhere Over the Rainbow, The Wizard of Oz. How did not that get mentioned? Holy shit!
Because Dave's not here.
Yeah, that should have
I
been
mean,
on there.
we can one last Hail Mary for each of us before we call it a day.
Okay, go ahead. Hail Mary.
Love me, say that you love me. What movie are you thinking about right now?
Is that
It's Romeo and
I wanna say
Juliet.
She's All That?
Yeah.
No. Oh! Damn it!
Love me. Yeah, that song, that'll always be that.
Yeah.
You're right. I was thinking, was it in She's All That
JD,
also, though?
you're gonna absolutely hate this one, but you're about to get it. My heart will go on. Titanic. There
Well,
you
I've
go.
never seen Titanic, so I don't know. So
Well,
it doesn't matter.
Well,
It'll
you have your
always be the
chance
Titanic song.
coming up in February. They're bringing it back to the theaters.
Still won't see it.
Next February?
Yeah.
Why
Around
they announce it
Valentine's
so
Day.
far ahead? My gosh.
I don't know. I told my wife, I said, hey, I still know the girl I took to that movie. I think I'll call her up and we'll do like
shit. That explains your black eye.
you know.
She was
my
like,
wife
oh, that
went to-
sounds cool.
My wife saw that movie in the theater 7 times.
I think I saw it like 7 or 8 times myself.
And
Yeah.
I've never seen it, so you're on your own, folks.
I mean, it was like the first boob I ever saw. I don't know what to tell you, Pat.
That
I
was
just kept going
that 96?
Things were tough. Things were tough, man.
Apparently.
We had AOL and
We had a black box, so
I didn't have a black box. It was all I could get. Dial up internet and no black box. So that's it, man. We could keep going all day long, but I think this is a good place to stop. So fantastic choice, dude. This was a lot of fun. So
Yes,
thanks
great
for the
episode.
recommendation. And
was fun,
we're going to be just a quick promote our next episodes coming up to finish up the month. We're going to be, and JD, should we announce our guest? Do we want to do that?
Let's leave it at it's a special guest who is returning.
Okay. Returning guest. And we're going to be covering, I think this could be a really fun one. We're closing out the month with a little bit of Here Comes the Men in Black, celebrating 25 years of Men in Black. Holy crap.
jeez.
I don't know if we'll remember it because we'll just wipe it clean at the end of the episode anyway, but we're going to close it up. Teaser trailer, full episode, special guest, and then we'll be on to the next month of episodes after that. So thanks again for checking out the episodes. Once again, Pat, go ahead and drop your links. If anybody skipped past the beginning part and just got right to the meat and potatoes, where can they listen to you, man?
Well, like I said, Paranormal Pativity Podcast at Paranormal Pat on Twitter. All the links are there. The Let Me Show You Something Podcast at Let Me Show You Something Pod on Twitter. All the links are there. And IBLT Podcast for It Be Like That Podcast on Twitter. All the links are there. Anywhere you find Back in Time, you can find any of those podcasts.
Yep. And then same thing with us. You can find us on social media at Back in Time Pod, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We're right here on YouTube. Easiest place to find our content. Just go on our Instagram page, find our link tree. All the links are on there. You can find us, watch us, check us out. And we appreciate the support. We'll be back next week. All new episodes. Thanks again for checking us out right here on YouTube. We'll see you next week with a brand new episode. Peace.
Oh, yeah.